Hey guys, my name is Sid and welcome to another vlog. So today we're going to be doing another video about living in Dubai, and I wanted to talk about moving to Dubai. Now, it's been a long time since I moved to Dubai, so I thought I'd get my friend Raj on the video to talk about his experience. He just moved to Dubai about a year ago. So Raj, please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Raj Katecha. I am a creative. I run a small agency called the Creative Content Agency. I work with CEOs and brands to help them plan, produce, publish and promote content. I have a small events portfolio here in Dubai called My Friends, Your Friends, which you were a co-host of.
Yeah, so Raj organizes this event, My Friends, Your Friends. It's a very interesting concept. I actually did a video about it because he brought me on as a host once. So I'm going to link that up over here. Go check that out if you're interested to see what he does.
And I've been in Dubai for a year, as Sid said. So I'm excited to share my 2 cents because I think a year is a really good block of time to give an insight into the highs and the lows.
That's why I brought him on, because he's been here for a year, and I thought that would make an interesting vlog for you guys, people who are considering to move to Dubai maybe. So let's start off with the first question. Why did you decide to move to Dubai in the first place?
I've always been a keen traveler.
Okay.
In 1999 I went to New York, and in those days I saw a full-size car by its wheels stuck to a billboard with Chevrolet.com written on it. So I saw opportunity there. In 2005 I was in London. Ahead of that, 2003 I was in Canada. In all of these places I saw opportunity. So about 3 years ago, a friend of mine, Rupa Ganatra, had a conference out here, and she asked me to come and chair a panel. On that panel was Sephora, there was Huda Beauty, Google and some other kind of tech brands and media brands. So I moderated this panel, and as soon as I came off stage, I was just handed so many business cards. And that would probably take a few weeks or months in London. And I just felt like there was a massive opportunity, things would happen quick here. My business was flexible, who I chose to work with in London. So I wound that down over a period of time and then moved here. My sister's been out here for 8 years now. So I had that safe landing pad where I was able to stay at her apartment. And that allowed me to plug into her network and then, you know, meet people like yourself and Mamta, which was like incredible. In fact, at that conference, that's where I met Mamta.
Oh, really?
And then off the back of that, off the back of Twitter, that's where we became friends. And that's when we met downstairs. We had coffee, then I met you, etc., etc.
Cool, yeah. So I actually met him through his sister and through Mamta actually. So Mamta and him work in the same field. Anyway.
And that's the big takeaway, is that I thrive in a place where networking happens. Even My Friends, Your Friends is like a networking concept. It's a networking event. So I was just like, man, I could, with my energy, with my like London energy, I could kill it here. And it was a very quick decision, dude.
It is a very good place to network, dude. I think, and you know, the multicultural aspects of Dubai really help. Like you get to meet people from so many different places in the world. And some really good creative professionals as well in Dubai. I think it's a good place to be.
It's becoming even better for creatives.
Yeah. So what was the most challenging thing about moving to Dubai?
I think that the most challenging thing about Dubai is that you have to deploy a little bit of patience. See, every country that I've ever lived in or been to has a slightly different rhythm to it. The rhythm in Dubai requires you to be a little bit more calm of mind, because every time that you try and do something here, there might be like a stage or a bit of paperwork or something that you hadn't quite considered, or a fee or a this or a that. And so that's one of the things that I kind of, what was the question? The most challenging thing? The most challenging thing. The most challenging thing is the same as the first year in any country. You have to give your mind a bit of time to adjust to how things work here. There are not many challenges, let's face it, in Dubai. I am, and people that have seen my videos on YouTube and on the internet know that I'm very pro Dubai at a macro level. But certainly one of the things you have to look at is like, okay, look, sometimes if you want to get things done, because there's a lot of cultures here, which makes there's a little bit more friction when it comes to communicating with people. It's not as smooth, you know, because different accents, different words and slang and things that we might use. That's probably the most challenging thing, but you do get past it because then you assimilate into it, you become part of it. You're just a British guy surrounded by Indian guys over here and Filipino guys over here and African guys over here, and you all kind of get this kind of shared linguistic kind of like platform, like, you know, you almost get that international accent, and then things become a lot easier.
Did you think that, do you think Arabic is required to be in Dubai?
No.
No, right?
No,
I'm of the same opinion.
Yeah,
I was just wondering how it would feel to somebody who's coming out.
Now, let me say this. I do think that if you can speak Arabic in Dubai, it's the ultimate superpower.
Yeah, it's
right?
a huge advantage.
It's a huge advantage. But the local Arab dudes and girls that I've hung out with have been all very willing to talk to me in English.
Yeah.
They all speak very good English for the most part.
Right.
And so I never feel like there's like a them and us.
Yeah.
The conversation's easy to kind of make happen.
Yeah.
But if I would also like to be able to speak Arabic, just because I think that I'm in Dubai, I'm taking from society, I'm taking from the culture, and I would like to be able to, you know, show my respect to locals by picking up the language. But I find the language a bit tricky. I probably can count on one hand the words that I have picked up,
right.
and they are probably your most cliche expat words, right? So, but I would love to pick up the language, but anybody coming here to move does not need to worry about that.
Arabic, yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually studied Arabic in school. So if you're, if your kids are going to school in Dubai, it's compulsory. You have to study Arabic if you're living in Dubai. But unfortunately, I never picked up the language because when I was younger, I was never really exposed to other Arabic-speaking people.
Yeah.
Because everybody in Dubai speaks English. So, you know, it's kind of hard. Unless you have friends who speak Arabic and stuff, you lose it, you know? Yeah. But I can read and write though.
You can read and write English?
Yeah, no, Arabic. Yeah, I can read and write.
And English too.
And English. And English too.
Yeah.
So what are you currently doing?
Right now, I consult CEOs and brands.
Okay.
Specifically in the event space at the moment.
Okay.
Events, aviation, and a couple of other industries. I sit with the CEOs like at a board level, and I help them understand how to plan, produce, publish, and promote business content.
And how did you get into event management?
I've been a DJ for the last 20 years, so 2018 is my 20th year as a DJ.
Damn, 20 years?
Yeah, man, I'm about to be 38. So when I started DJing, I realized that the kind of music I wanted to DJ, I would need to have my own events.
Right.
So I had my own events, I would hire other DJs in for them. Then at the beginning of every event, the first 2 hours, nobody would come. And I was paying warm-up DJs. So I decided that if I didn't pay warm-up DJs for like 8 weeks, I could afford turntables and vinyl.
Okay.
So I started DJing that way, and that allowed me to understand the full ecosystem, from how to run the door, how to book a venue, how to negotiate with general managers, how to make sure that bouncers like you so that you can get your way there, point of view. So I just love it, dude. It's in my DNA, and the outcome is I get to fill a room with people, which is the thing I love the most.
And I'm guessing you get to travel as well.
You get to travel, and it's translated really well now that I have the agency, because a lot of the clients that I give advice to or consult are also in the events business at the highest rankings, like conferences and exhibitions. It's amazing what you can learn throwing a hardcore hip-hop night in London that you can translate to throwing like an executive CEO conference in Dubai.
Really?
A lot of the fundamentals are the same. So that's what I do at the moment.
Awesome, man. So was it hard being an entrepreneur in Dubai? Like you run your own business, right? You run your own consultancy. Was that transition, moving to a new place like Dubai, was it hard to start your own business?
I think if you're a good entrepreneur, it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah.
I think that if you come to a market, especially like Dubai, especially as you go east of Europe, you have to do a couple of things. You have to be patient, and there is a buy-in. Think about moving to Dubai like sitting at a poker table. Every poker table has a different buy-in. You can research London over and over and over again, land in London, and know how to get off the ground quite quickly. Same as the US. It's not as easy to do that in Dubai. You have to buy in for 1 year.
Okay.
So now we're at the 1 year mark. And I've been coming in and out for the last 3 years, but it takes a year before you figure out how everything works over a 12-month season, because here you have Ramadan, you have summer, you have certain shopping festivals, you have winter, and then you have to do what every other entrepreneur does, which is just listen. You have to meet the people in your world, in your ecosystem, spend a bit of time with them. Dubai is amazing because a couple of reasons. One, the society here is very, very willing to connect you to other people. So when I met Momta, she was keen to introduce me to other people. I didn't have 2 contacts in the city to rub together, but I connected her with whoever I knew. So if you go to a brunch with 10 people, of those 10 people, 5 will invite you to another event where they'll each invite 10 people. So networking occurs like rocket fuel speed here.
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of people are new in Dubai as well, a lot of expatriates, so people are here for a year or 2, and they keen to make friends and broaden their own social networks. So
it's empathy. Everybody understands what it's like to move to Dubai. Most people that you run into, 99% of people that you run into that are not from Dubai, have moved here on the streets. Like when you meet them, they've moved here in under 10 years. So no one's that unfamiliar with what it's like to move here. So everyone's willing to give you advice on how to get set up here, whether it be business, whether it be a driver's license, whether it's rent an apartment, whether it's to make friends. So that I really like.
Apart from like strategically, like what do you think entrepreneurs need to know about like the legality of doing business in Dubai, like, or moving to Dubai as an entrepreneur? Like, do you think it's challenging?
Yeah, so I come from the UK. I have a business in the UK.
Okay.
The way that the business works in the UK is you typically register a company and it's done.
Yeah.
And then depending on your accounting cycle, you either submit your books once a year, or if you're VAT registered, you submit them quarterly. In Dubai, you have your annual fees.
Okay.
Okay. You have your quarterly VAT returns now for most people in the UAE.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that although you don't pay corporation tax, you are going to be picking up fees on an annual basis, whether you pay it to the Emirate of Dubai, or you pay it to the Emirate of Sharjah or Fujairah, or whoever you register to. So you have to understand that the landscape, the way you invest your money and how you invest your money and at what frequency is slightly different here.
Yeah, and there's visa fees and...
Yeah, there's... So for example, like, if you want to employ somebody in the UK, currently that's from Europe, before Brexit messes everything up, you can just employ them as long as they come from a country that's got a certain passport. Here, you have to put the allocation on your company to allocate that spot for that person. Then you have to pay for that allocation separately. So I would say that in my company, I want 7 employees. If you become employee number 8, I have to create a space for number 8, pay for that, and then I have to pay for your actual visa on top of that. So there are incremental costs. So from an entrepreneur's point of view, you can't just like let somebody walk into your business, pay them for a couple of months, see how you get on.
Exactly.
Because you've got to do...
It's a minimum 1-year commitment, right?
It's
you have,
visa,
if you're getting a
healthcare.
visa for somebody, if you're bringing somebody from outside the country, or even just hiring any expatriate in general, it's at least 1 year that you have to pay for their license, you have to pay for their medical, etc.
Well, you can do less. You can pay. You would pay the same amount. But if you fire them, you don't get your ROI. You don't get your return on investment the same way.
Yeah, you're spending a lot on hiring that person.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of living in Dubai.
Pros, I can't think of a time where I've thought about crime.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, coming from
no
London,
crime in Dubai.
Yeah. And if there's crime, you're not gonna notice it. Like, it's just a peaceful place. Like, even when we were coming up here, you just literally got kids skateboarding, you've got people having fun, drinking juice. Like, it's a very idyllic, peaceful, beautiful place. And from an entrepreneur's point of view, I think that, mind state is everything. I feel relaxed exponentially more in Dubai than I do in any other city. And I think that puts me in a good place to do creative work. So that's one of the pros. One of the cons, I would say, would be that access to products can be a little expensive or restricted. So, avocados are like, in the UK it would be like £10, in the US it would be like $14 for a kilo. That's how much you pay in Dubai. In the UK you'll probably spend 1/5 or 1/4 of that. So things are a little bit harder to get, and when it comes to it, we're content creators, right? So we're constantly buying microphones, lenses, cameras, things of that nature. When there's less supply, you generally get less good quality stuff, and it can generally be more expensive what you pay for it. That being said, if you look at like Souq.com, they've just been bought by Amazon. So they just plugged in an extra 1 million products from Amazon.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. You can buy stuff directly from Amazon.
So Dubai is very smart at working on its cons. And I don't think that in 12 to 18 months time we're going to be talking about, access to products being an issue. I see everything coming down in price, either a little bit or a lot.
So bro, how much money do you think you need to come to Dubai? If you want to move to Dubai, how much money do you need as like an entrepreneur? Or like if you're looking for a job, if you haven't got a job yet and you're looking to move to Dubai just to see what happens?
Let's assume that both have different financial situations. So if you're looking for a job, you've not got cash flow. All right. If you're trying to, and then let's just assume that kind of person wants to save money. That person would be wise to spend in the region of around 5,000 to 6,000 dirhams on accommodation. The good thing is, you can take that and move into an apartment with lots of people. I mean, maybe not lots. It could be as little as 3 or 4. Take a room in that apartment. You might get like an ensuite bedroom, and you might spend 5,000 to 6,000, including bills. If you're an entrepreneur and you can be in pretty much any neighborhood in Dubai, right? But if you're an entrepreneur and you want to be close to the opportunities, you need to be in one of the key areas, which is Business Bay, Downtown, DIFC, Marina, JLT. A place around there will run you 10 to 12,000
a month
on a monthly basis. So 10 to 12,000 for your rent, or including bills. An apartment you might need to pay for up front in rent, which might be about 105,000. But once you put on 5,000 deposit, 5,000 agency fee, and then your bills, you might end up spending about 12 to 15.
Right.
So if you're coming here to figure stuff out and find a job, I would say spend less money. Go to like dubizzle.com. Check out your options in terms of apartments you could stay in, even short term. If you're an entrepreneur, like, okay, so let me tell you about my situation out of the two. I'm an entrepreneur. I chose to be in the downtown area. I chose to go for the expensive option. Why? Because I live directly opposite the Burj Khalifa. People that are passing through the city from other cities or other places are like, yo, I'm on the boulevard, I'm near Dubai Mall, I'm here for 3 hours.
Right.
So I can just run out in 7 minutes and take that meeting, take that coffee, take that, happy hour, and just head back in. Like the amount of people I've met in these neighborhoods like Executive Towers, Burj Views, just while shopping or grabbing a coffee, and they are at a stage in their life where they might be funding their own projects or have their own business, or they've got creative things that they're working on, or business things that they're working on. So it's much easier to draw opportunities from a community like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to surround yourself with like people who think like that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going down the whole what kind of life you want to create for yourself, I am a believer that you are made up of the 5 people that are around you the most.
Right.
And if you want to find those 5 people, being in a town or a street or a neighborhood or a community where there's lots of those kind of people, it certainly increases your chances.
So final question, do you think it was worth moving to Dubai?
Yes, I absolutely 100% think it's worth moving to Dubai.
Okay.
So back to my original point, I was in New York in '99 for the internet bubble. Right. I was in London from 2005 to 2008 when the market crashed.
Right.
I've been in markets where it's obviously going up. Right. Late '90s New York, mid 2000s London. Dubai is that today.
Okay.
Like you can move here. You could have moved here in the past. You might think about moving here much further ahead in the future. But we are right now in the sweet spot. I believe 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, it's so obvious by the rate of change and the rate of progress.
So you think Dubai's got another 5 years?
I think Dubai's got an obvious run for the next 5 years.
A bullish 5 years.
A bullish 5 years. And I think as well that they'll take what they learn from that and set a course for the years after that. I believe that in a macro, I believe that Dubai's got a very good future. But if you really want to get to the peak of it, now is the time to come to Dubai. Because in my earlier point, I was like, you need a year to understand the cycle of living in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
But my example would be, it's like going to the club at 1:30 in the morning. You're going in there when the main DJ's on, it's packed, it's pumping, and you don't have to worry about any of the warm-up, and you don't need to know about how it's going to end. You just need to know that it's banging, and you've got, 4 years, 5 years of just phenomenal growth, like buildings popping up places, highways popping up places. This Amazon thing that we talked about, Amazon buysoup.com, now there's a million extra products available on your phone. Dubai is changing, and if you want to be part of that change and ride that wave up, then now is the time to come to Dubai.
I also think that the startup ecosystem in Dubai is really at a point where it's becoming Dubai is becoming the center of the startup ecosystem for the Middle East, and this region still hasn't had that kind of surge in startup culture that India had 2 or 3 years ago, or the US had 10 or 15 years ago. So I see a lot of potential for growth and for new companies, emerging worldwide companies coming out of Dubai like Kareem and stuff. Alright bro, I think that's it. So thank you for coming on the vlog, bro.
Thank you,
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for everything you've been doing. I've been following your progress. Thank you for being a co-host on My Friends, Your Friends, and I love what's happening with your channel and your community. I'm in the comments, so anybody who wants to ask any questions about anything we've spoken about, I will be reading the comments and I will message you back, and we can do anything you want to do in the future around talking to this community. I'm very grateful for your attention as well.
Alright guys, so leave your questions in the comments down below, and me or Raj will try to get back to you. And if you get a lot of questions, maybe we'll do another round. Or
hit me on Instagram @Rajkatecha, RAJKOTCHA, or type Rajkatecha anywhere on Google and you'll find me on all the major social networks.
So I'm going to link up his stuff down in the description. He's @Rajkatecha everywhere. He's got his own YouTube channel as well. Go check that out. And thanks bro, thanks for being on the vlog.
Appreciate it, man.
So if you guys like the video, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to watch more videos like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.